And our last speaker is Professor Liao Wen-Chun. And then she graduated from National Taiwan University for the bachelor degree. And then she also got a PhD from University of Washington. Right now, she is the professor of School of Nursing at the China Medical University. And then today, she's going to give us a talk on nutrition and self-management behavior on healthy aging in community-dwelling older adults, evidence in national longitudinal population-based cohort studies. Let's welcome Professor Liao.
Good afternoon. It's my privilege to be here to represent the work of our multiple discipline team. And I think it's the last section you have been for a long time, so I will go first maybe. I will present evidence from three studies from the Taiwan's longitudinal population-based cohort studies. And because we know that as longevity is prolonged in our society, successful aging becomes a goal for our long life. And successful aging is an optimal state of low probability of disease and disease-related disability, high cognitive and physical function, and active engagement with life. So no disability is one of the important indicators of successful aging. And as a nurse, I think healthy behavior is an important factor for us because we perform that daily. So the first study, we conduct three studies, use the data from the CHELSA 1989 to 2011 to investigate the impact of specific nutrition practice and self-management behaviors on disability, viral status, and mortality in community-dwelling older adults. So the first study, we examined the combined effect of healthy behaviors on the development of functional disability from 1989 to 2003. Healthy behavior we used in 1989, we used moderate drinking, no smoking, exercise, and normal sleep. And because there's a lot of missing, so we didn't use normal weight here. But we have discussed body weight in previous report, so fortunately. And for the functional disability, we use data from 1989 to 2003. The indicator is if you have difficulty in taking baths or walking 2 to 3 meters. And also there's a covariate including marital status, education, and gender. Also, there's severe diseases is the time-dependent variable. And we use the Kaplan-Meier survival analysis and cost-proportional hazard regression to analyze our data. Here is the flow chart of the study sample selection from our study. So we recruit participants from 1989, exclude those with physical function disability. So we got 3,187 participants with normal physical function and follow it in 1983, 1996, 1999, and 2003. The definition of healthy behavior including no smoke, drink less than once a week as moderate drinking, and exercise greater than 3 times per week, or sleep 7 to 8 hours as the normal. And the event, functional disability, will define as any difficulty on taking baths or walking 200 to 300 meters. The time we use ages of the first time event happened in the survey year, and we pick the midpoint of the event and previous survey, also adjust for the other variables. So here is the demographic characteristic in male and female. We will see that majority of male live with partner. So male with partner will live better and longer. But for female, it's health and health. And male with at least 6 years of education, but for female, it's a lot of them are illiterate. And here it's wrong. It should be the here the 20% of male got any disease of heart disease, stroke, or diabetes, but there's higher portion of higher portion in female to have any kind of disease. Okay, and here is the proportion of functional disability in the survived. So you will see 80% of male is able, and 71.8% of female is able. But male were dead more, and more female were disabled after 15 years of follow-up. And this is the survival curve to the onset of functional disability. You will see males, the age is 84 years old to get disabled, but female is 81. So male disabled later than female did. And here is the adoption of healthy behaviors. And you will see each healthy behavior can lower the risk on functional disability. Then we calculate the score of healthy behaviors. If you got no smoking, moderate drinking, exercise, and sleep 7 to 8 hours, you got 1 point if subject performed this, and get a maximum point of 4 points. And we use this score as a dummy variable into our cost model. And then this is the final model. We will see the more healthy behavior adopted, the lower risk of functional disability happened, controlled by gender, disease status, marital status, and education. So here there's actually a dose response here. Okay, so evidence from this study, we will show that adoption of healthy behaviors of non-smoking, moderate drinking, exercise, and sleep 7 to 8 hours will lower the risk of functional disability in community-driven older adults. So there's a dose-response relationship. More healthy behavior may provide cumulative protection to the elderly from functional disability. So this study has published in the Journal of American Society, Geriatric Society, 2011. And there's another study report from the Taipei Medical University recently, and they used the Taiwan National Health Interview Survey 21 and 2005. There's 19,893 participants aged greater than 30 years old is included. And the result also find that healthy lifestyle also increased the life expectancy and also decreased healthcare expenditure. So there's data evidence show that adopting more healthy lifestyle is good for your health. And also we conduct another study is to examine the transition of self-measurement behaviors and frailty status among community-driven older adults from 2007 to 2011. And self-measurement behavior we used is a self-report behavior, use less drinking, quit smoking, exercise, healthy diet, maintain body weight, and regular lifestyle as the healthy behaviors. And they are classified into maintain no, decrease from yes to no, or increased no to yes, or maintained yes from yes to yes. And the transition of the frailty status use the 5 indicators, including weakness, drinking, exhausting, low physical activity, and slowness. And the status of transition of fetal status from year 2007 to 2011 are classified into improved, stable, or worsened. And covariates, we use age, gender, and severe diseases. And we use the multi-nominal logistic regression to analyze our data. So here is the flow chart. So we exclude those who age less than 65 years old, living in an institution or impaired cognition or missing data. We got a final sample as 1,283 and follow them for 4 years. And there's 196 deceased in 2011. So here is the characteristic of participant on frailty in older adult. You will see in young age, in young old, there's 55% is non-frail, but it's 70% in older old with frailty status in 2007, and age is a significant factor. Okay, and for female, there's 64% in non-frail status, but for female, it's 56.3%, so higher in females. When we see the change in frailty status from 2007 to 2011, here is 40% to keep stable, and 33% become worse frailty, and 15.3% is dead after 4 years. Okay, and here is the self-measurement behavior between non-frail and frail group. You will see in a non-frail group, they perform majority of them perform all the behavior, and so as after 4 years. But after 4 years in the frail group, more people tend to not drink, I think, because of their status. Okay. And here is the final result in change of self-measurement behavior on transition of frail status by multinomial logistic regression. And we will see here is the significant result. We will see maintain the body weight. We will have actually is higher possibility to be stable frailty status. It's lower potential to improve, so it's higher potential to become stable. And it's lower risk to become worsen frailty. So need to maintain their body weight. And so as the exercise. So if you maintain your exercise, you have higher potential to maintain your status. And you have lower risk to worsen your frailty. And the other factor is heart disease. Oh no. It's if you didn't exercise, you will have that high risk to worsen your frailty status. And another risk is heart disease. If you got heart disease, you have higher potential to improve your frailty status, but also have higher risk to worsen your frailty. So heart disease is a chance. So the overall 40% participants maintain their frailty status and 33% worsened, only 11.6% improved. Transition to greater frailty are more common than transition to lesser frailty. Self-management behaviors may be a protector against the development of frailty, especially in those who maintain their body weight and frequent physical exercise, were associated with a higher ratio of frailty stability even among individuals over 75 years old and with chronic diseases. And this study has been published in BMC Geriatrics in 2000, I forgot. The third study, we examined the taking fish oil on mortality and cardiovascular disease event in the elderly. We used the data from 2003 to 2014. And so the event include all-cause mortality, cardiovascular and cardiovascular attack, covariant including personal characteristics, health behaviors, and diseases. We use Cox regression model to analyze our data. And here is the flow chart. So we got sample from 2003 and exclude those had heart disease or stroke at or before 2003 and got our final sample, 4,182, divided into two groups, include the fish oil cohort who took fish oil supplement in both 2003 or 2007. And the other is the compared cohort. And then we follow their death and cardiovascular attack during 2003 to 2007. This is the baseline characteristics among the fish oil supplement cohort and the compared cohort. You will see the fish oil cohort is younger and with higher education, and also with good or very good economical status. And they take exercise 6 times per week, and also no smoking. So it's a healthy group. The data shows if you take fish oil supplement will lower the risk of all-cause mortality. But after adjust all the covariates, the significance is disappear. And there's no significant difference on the heart disease and stroke. So we do the covariate stratified analysis for the adjusted hazard ratio of stroke attack in fish oil supplement cohort, compared with individual without fish oil supplement. And the results show that fish oil supplement group among diabetics patients had a low risk of stroke attack compared to the non-supplement group. Okay. So the conclusion that fish oil supplement decrease all-cause mortality. In diabetics, those who taking fish oil supplement had a lower cumulative incidence rate of subsequent stroke. And this study has been published in the BMC Public Health. Okay, so based on the complex studies in the above, we will go for a simple conclusion that adopting healthy behavior have benefits on lowering risk of functional disability, so as on lowering mortality and healthcare expenditure. And maintaining habits of exercise and a healthy diet can maintain non-frail status even among individuals over 75 years old and with chronic diseases. Fish oil supplement was a protector against a stroke attack among diabetics. However, I think single nutrition may be a weak protector. So adopting multiple health behaviors has a stronger benefit on successful aging in case of better functional ability and non-frail. So I will conclude that humans are complex animals, so need to be active to live. So as it has been a long day and we sit here for a long time, it's not too healthy. Okay. So thank you for the study, for the TOSA group and all our cooperating agency. Thank you for your listening.
So it seems like before Q&A, everybody need to stand up and exercise a little bit, right?
Yes.
All right, so let me stand up and do the Q&A session. Right? So everybody stand up a little bit. All right. So for the Q&A, do we need to have some chairs or we just do the Q&A?
It is
Hello.
really surprising. The portfolio diet is supposedly to reduce the LDL cholesterol, which is a risk factor of cardiovascular disease. But your results of this portfolio diet pattern is not related to any risk of CVD, but has a risk of others. Do you have any explanation or
Yeah. So
for that?
thank you very much for the question. So that is it's kind of interesting. That when I see that. So well, from a technical point of view, so I would comment on the odd study that the case number for cardiovascular mortality is relatively fewer when compared to other populations that I've analyzed the data, because of the fewer number, because relatively there are more people having cancer mortality than cardiovascular mortality. So when we do the statistical analysis, so it may be a little bit harder to detect this significant difference. And also because we use the mortality, so for the data sets, we don't have the CVD incidence, so that's also affect the case number. But when we talk about the cohort studies, in Nurses' Health Study or the Women's Health Initiative, they use the incidence rather than just a mortality. So the case number may account for a difference. So therefore, we look forward to having more Asian cohort using CVD incidence to look into this relationship. So the things would make more sense. But regardless, let's say for all-cause mortality, for cancer mortality, so that also agree with the general pattern that a plant-based diet would be good to prevent these kinds of diseases.
Okay, so any other question?
Yeah, my name is Peter Tsai. I'm affiliated with NHI. So I would like to stand and ask questions. I think all these talk are very useful and interesting on the population scale. So I'm wondering, at individual level, just one person, could we somehow integrate all this information, including the behavior, even genetics, and so that can provide guidance for precision health at individual level? So that's my question. Yeah. Or any of
Okay,
you.
so it seems that it's more like a general question. So maybe I will provide my 2 cents and I will pass to other professors to provide their insights. So firstly, so for the portfolio, the example for portfolio diet, it already starts from the intervention trial. So for those trials, they already have the recommended intake of like plant protein or the physics fiber, etc., etc. So what we're gonna do in the future would be to adapt the recommended intake into Asian population, because for those intake level suitable for Western population may not be the same for the Asian population. So we will see from the consumption level in our cohort and see how to adjust the amount as well as the food options that we can also adjust, just like the photos that I have put on the screen. So it would be more feasible for the patients. So let's see if other professors have something
How
to add.
about body weight control and so on?
Thank you, Dr. Tais, this question. And but in our further analyze, we pay attention. We have attention for what kind of food is associated with the body weight loss in elderly, and I find that milk products is associated in this frequency in those subject weight loss more than 10% or more than 5%. So maybe in about the genetics, individual genetics, maybe we can further to know that maybe they don't have the 乳糖不耐症 fructose gene gene is associated. Maybe the elderly, he cannot drink milk as a nutrient supplement. So maybe some elderly, such as they has this gene and they have a higher risk to have weight loss during their aging process.
Okay, so I agree with Dr. Liao, right, last speaker, in that human body is complex. Okay, so maybe it's appropriate if Xu Zhicheng agree. I think it's a good occasion to share with you. We have efforts at NHI. So I have been working with Dr. Xu, taking the healthy aging longitudinal study of Taiwan host cohort. And by end of this year, we're going to complete the whole genome sequence of 2,408, very close to 2,500 of those individuals in this very significant cohort, which has been monitored for over 15 years now. So hopefully very soon we'll make it into public resources, and we invite you to work with us, talk with us, so that we can make the maximum use of this information for an Asian population, for a Chinese ethnic group. So that's just a comment. Okay, thank you very much for your three of you, a wonderful presentation.
Thank you. So any other questions from the floor?
Thank you. My question goes to Ken first. I might have missed the information in your talk, so remind me about the important confounding factor like physical activity, education level, and health literacy in your cohort in terms of the effect of portfolio diet on several outcomes.
Okay, so we have compared the data between males and females. So for males, they may have a little bit difference in terms of like maybe the education level or maybe the dietary intake. So we see that for the dietary intake for those factors related to portfolio diet, they have higher consumption, let's say like plant-based, plant protein intake or the viscous fiber, and therefore, even after adjusting for the covariates like the physical activity and education level, the association is still significant within that population. So we hypothesize that may be a threshold for those healthy diet. So after you reaching that level, and by default for male, they may eat a little bit more of that, so that will provide some beneficial effect.
Thank you. I have a question to John. John? I always tell my patient, if their age is over 70, do not lose your weight. I may allow 1 or 2 kilogram body weight gain, but no body weight loss. So but I'm just wondering about advice to the patient from 65 to 70. 70 or over should be okay. Just do not lose their weight, even though they have a BMI of 25 or 26. That's okay. But in your data, did you stratify the age group? Like if you can stratify the age group like over 70 or less than 70, you still see the similar outcome?
Yes, this is we need to further stratify the age to look our result is the similar or more consistent to current result. But I think this is very important to stratify age to see this association. Thank you.
The last question is about Professor Liao. You mentioned the moderate alcohol consumption is less than once a week. I think generally speaking, moderate alcohol consumption should be less than 1 bottle of alcohol per day, not week. Am I wrong?
Yes, But I think because data from United States or the Europe country, they drink a lot. So the cut point will be different from United States or in Taiwan. And based on our data, there's not a lot of people drink so much. So we just calculate the moderate drinking as a social event, as a moderate.
I see. In your cohort, the prevalence of diabetes and cardiovascular disease was higher in women than in men. That's very unusual in several cohorts in Asia. Do you have any reason where you found this higher instance or prevalence of diabetes and cardiovascular disease in women?
I didn't pay attention to that, but I think I will pay attention to that later because the prevalence of diabetes seems higher in Asian people than in the United States.
Sure, but the always prevalence is higher in men than in women, probably because of the higher prevalence of illiterate people in women, or lower education level might affect the prevalence of diabetes and heart disease. That's my assumption.
Okay, I will consider that.
Questions from this side?
Thank you for the wonderful presentations. It's really nice to see the amazing data that you have in Asia to do all this work. First question actually for Dr. Chung. I'm not sure I'm saying it correctly, but it was interesting to see that the reference group for men was different for women. So it was obesity 1 for men and overweight for women. Is there some physiological issue there that's causing why you would use reference for men as obesity 1 and women it's overweight?
I guess the muscle mass.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
because we know that if your body weight is higher and more muscle mass, so another issue is if women after menopause, their fat redistribution, and so our previous study showed that muscle mass is the major composition of body composition for mortality. Okay. So maybe the distribution or the muscle mass in male and woman, their location or muscle mass in obesity men or overweight woman has
It's different,
higher than the effect for reduce the mortality.
Great. And for Dr. Lowe, a question. So measuring plant sterols in food frequency questionnaires and viscous fiber can be challenging, right? Because the nutrient analysis programs might not have that detail. I noticed that one of your key conclusions was that in the portfolio diet, whole grains explained a lot of the benefit. And could it be because it's easier to actually measure whole grains in a food frequency questionnaire when you think about the nutrient analysis that we need to do versus viscous fibers and plant sterols?
So we'd like to answer this. Thank you very much, Professor Keller, for the question. We'd like to answer this in 2 aspects. Firstly, for portfolio diet, is like a food group based calculation. So for the viscous fiber, or we do count the consumption of those food rich in viscous fiber, rather than calculating the viscous fiber within that food, like the yam or like the lotus root or so. But yes, for plant sterol, it's quite challenging to calculate the amount. So therefore, when we applied it in Asian population, actually we look through multiple papers related to testing the phytosterol content in all those vegetables or the plant-based foods, so that we can have the plant sterol in level for or if for most, if not for all food items. So that is the tricky thing for portfolio diets, because many for those components are in food-based, but for plant sterol is in nutrient-based. So that is the complexity when calculating it. And the second one, for the whole grain, actually, because for the interest of time, actually, I did not explain it clearly, actually is from another paper. Well, same cohort, but another paper, that the research question is to quantify the relative importance of one food group within the whole diet. Because if I just break down the food component like that, what I did for the portfolio diet, I can just see, well, plant protein is relatively more important. But what about we account for their intake within a mixture of food? And therefore, when we do use the GQ computation, so we can see that whole grain is relatively more important than like mushrooms or some other plant-based food within the diet structure for that. So the take-home message for that paper would be, if we account for the relative importance of one food group within the whole diet, that may be the way to go for, rather than just put in the food group one by one and do the regression analysis. So we may miss out the intercorrelation within this complexity. Thank you.
I have a question for Dr. Zhuang. Should we set a different BMI cut point for elderly? I think this is very important because I know many people of my age and they retire at 65 years old and they say, okay, now I have time to lose weight. And that is really, really very dangerous because they want to lose weight just based on the BMI of 25, okay? But 26, 20, or 27, based on your study, might be better than 25, okay? So I don't know, how about Japan? Do you have a different BMI cut point for elderly?
Actually, there's no cutoff for BMI in Japan. I asked the expert in the Japan Obesity Society. The cutoff for BMI only applies to younger generation, less than 65. So they are not so sure about the cutoff of over 65. Probably we can use the cutoff of 25 to 70 or 74, but no data over 75 or over whatsoever. So I don't know. 25 might be applicable to young old, but not old.
Okay, thank you for this question. This question is very big question, and currently by our data, maybe I will say we need to more study to have the standard criteria for BMI. But I think that because the elderly or adult, their higher body weight, they have more muscle. So if we want to identify or to define the new criteria for elderly BMI, we need the data about they have body composition and they have BMI, and we need to overall consider the body composition different criteria for our mortality or our concern, cardiometabolic disorders control, and other physical and mental function. So we can have a more good standard for this.
So we will need to close this session, and then on behalf of the organizing committee, I think we have some certification.
Yes, you're right. Thanks for the input from our speakers. So we invite Professor Zhang and Professor Huang, representing our organizing committee, to present the certificate. And thank you, Professor Liao. Let's take a group photo all together. We thank all the speakers and the moderators. Okay, the final session of our conference is the award presenting ceremony. So now it's the time to celebrate the outstanding performances and achievements showcased throughout this event. We will present the award to the winners of oral and poster presentation. So could we invite Professor Keller representing NHRI to present the award to the winner of the oral presentation? So please come to the stage, and I will, for the winners, you listen your name. Please come to the stage to receive your prize. The Outstanding Oral Presentation Awards in the group of Basic and Clinical Science. The first place goes to Deng Caiwen, and the second place goes to Cai Yixin. Please come to the stage. And in the group of Public Health, the first place goes to Lin Jianyuan. And the second place goes to April Marie Hill. And we have two third place winners, Zhou Yijun and Chen Yujie. Please come to the stage. Congratulations. These winners didn't just talk about their work. They made us all feel a bit smarter just by listening. Following that, we would like to invite Professor Alai, representing the NHRI, to present the certificates and the winner of the Outstanding Poster Presentation Awards. The first place goes to Lin Zhengyu. And the second place goes to Shen Zhaoqing. And the third place goes to Qin Jiayou. And the honorable mention award goes to Liu Yilin and Chen Junmin. Please come to the stage to receive your prize. These presenters took science to a whole new level. They turned the walls into windows of discovery. And this award session is a new addition to our program designed to encourage more participants to join the annual international conference to share their valuable work with us. And now we would like to invite the Chief Executive Director, Professor Xu, to deliver his closing remarks.
I want to thank you all. Still remain in your seat until the last second. For these 2 days conference, I think we thank a lot of audience, our working group, and also from the distinguished speaker from the overseas and also in Taiwan. We are looking forward the next year. Every year, the National Center for Geriatrics and Welfare Research will hold an international conference of healthy aging. And what kind of the subject we are determining now. Once we think what kind of appropriate theme, we will tell you as soon as possible, and we will let you know the event, the date, and also the place. Maybe in the next year, November, and welcome you to join us and also support the National Center of Geriatrics and Welfare Research. So in the end of the conference, I want to thank you again for your coming and for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Xu. Okay. We would like to express our gratitude to the speakers, moderators, participants, and every team members behind the scene. Your collective efforts have made this conference a great success, and we highly anticipate connections and partnership that will emerge from the ideas that foster here. Once again, we appreciate your continued support and looking forward to your continuing involvement in the near future. Until we meet next year, thank you all, safe trips, and goodbye.